What is going on, guys? Nothing good, surely. This is a awful night. I don't even know how to start this. Bulls lost to the Suns tonight in heartbreaking fashion, 115 to 113 in Phoenix. Kevin Durant with the game winner with 1.6 seconds left in the game. Yeah, I mean, what more can you say? This is a game that the Bulls led by as many as 23 points. They were killing it in the first half. It seemed like they couldn't miss any shots. And then, a tale of two halves. The second half rolls around. Even in the third quarter, they were playing pretty well. They were leading up until the pretty much the end of the game, but just couldn't stop a run by Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal there at the end. Some are gonna feel a little way about the ref involvement there at the end as well. Feeling like the refs might have gotten the Suns the ball back and gotten them back in the game. But truthfully, it just kind of felt like Kevin Durant could not be stopped. Felt like Kevin Durant was on a mission tonight, and there was nothing that we could do about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Coby White was playing a really great game. Um, he was shining. Kobe was one assist shy of having his first career triple double. He was using his hezzy moves. He just looked really good, man. He was nailing some deep threes. He was hitting some big shots there in the fourth quarter as well. But Bulls could not get the job done, and yeah, I mean, fell victim to the Suns. What's up, Alba? Bad, bad, no good loss, no fun. Um, yeah, man, just not a good thing. Not a good way to end that game. Not a good way to lose. Um, I mean, it's never good lose. There's never a good way to lose, but when you have the lead for such a long stretch of the game, when it looks like you have the game in the bag, to let them come back like that, um, yeah, 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 yeah. Dalen Terry, he's a local product from Arizona. Didn't get the opportunity to play much in the second half, but shout out Dalen Terry playing back in his home state. And didn't contribute to a win, but who did? Nobody on the Bulls, certainly. Ref ball, baby. Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes back to at the end of the day. It feels like the refs are inflicting too much influence over the game of basketball. I think a lot of Bulls fans are going to feel a certain way about the game tonight. That the refs got a little bit too involved. Um, to be totally honest, yeah, Alba. That just like it feels like a classic Bulls loss. Like you could blame the refs, sure. You could say that the refs got involved, sure. As a Bulls fan, this just kind of feels like how they lose games sometimes. This is just kind of like the deal being a Bulls fan. Um, you got to take games like this. Like there's going to be games, yeah, exactly, where they overturn shots that don't make any sense, where they give foul calls that don't make any sense. They don't give foul calls that make any sense. I'm used to it. It doesn't make it hurt any less. But I don't know. Call this group therapy. I feel like it's classic bullshit because this is a team that struggles to close out. This is not something new. This has been a problem for years. This has been honestly a problem under Billy Donovan. I think that that's probably what we need to have the discussion around. It's not just, oh, the Bulls can't close games. It's Billy Donovan squads cannot close games. Billy Donovan squads give up late fourth quarter runs to teams all the time. And it does beg the question, why at the end of that game are we looking, for that shot at the rim, or we're looking for a crazy DeMar 3-pointer? Like, why are you not giving the ball to Coby White, who's been having this great stretch? Like where's the ingenuity? Where's the innovation in this offense? Like, why aren't we drawing up better plays out of these timeouts? Why aren't we drawing up better late game threes to potentially take the lead? I think we could do a lot better. That last play drawn was predictable, says blah blah. DeMar Shotchuck. That's exactly how I feel, man. I think that Coby was the hot hand, and this is something that I've talked about a lot on my channel. I feel like if you're committed to developing the youth of the future, if you're committed to, you know, potentially one day handing the keys of this team over to Coby White, you got to let him take shot. You got to let him take shots like that. You got to let him attempt shots like that. You got to see if he can hit them. You got to see if Coby's clutch, and I think he is. But like that's a moment that you have to give to Coby White because I think he's earned it. Rodrigo brings up a good point. Coby not getting plays in the clutch game after game is disrespectful. I feel the same way. I feel that it's disrespectful because I feel like Coby, yeah, Alba, Coby has earned the opportunity. He's played so well. Like, I don't know how you don't give him that opportunity. Because if you have this guy on the team who has the hot hand, you know, he's leading the offense, he's keeping guys on their heels. Why not give him the opportunity just for a shot, like a game? I don't know why we have to keep going back to these, you know, bullshit ass DeMar DeRozan ISO mid-range jumpers. Like, and that was, you know, ISO three-pointers even. I don't know. It seems like that's kind of the tried and true method, and Billy Donovan feels like there's, you know, there's a reason to stick with it. It worked a couple of times a couple of years ago. But yeah, it seems like chat's on my side here. It seems like we're all pretty much in alignment that the Bulls should have given Coby White the ball. You know, that he's made clutch shots in the past. In previous wins, he's made clutch shots. It's not like this is a brand new thing. We've seen him take clutch shots at the end of games and hit them. How do you feel about Pat not getting the 2 free throws on the lob attempt? Yeah, that was a tough one too. They're gonna say that that foul occurred before the act of shooting, so it's kind of like they got the full time back on the shot clock. So I'm not too upset about it. I didn't get too upset about that because they did get the full 1.6 seconds back on the shot clock. So it's like at least that's a consistent ruling, right? You're not saying that it was both a shot and and not a shooting foul. So I think that's not the worst bad call. You know, of all the bad calls down the stretch in that game, I don't think that was the worst. But Alba's right in the chat. He's going up to the rim, so it's obviously he's going up to the rim to shoot it. I think the reason that I'm not upset is again they gave us the full 1.6 seconds back. So if you're saying that he wasn't yet in the act of shooting, at least you got the full 1.6 seconds back because that's right. If he hasn't been in the act of shooting yet, then there's no shot taken, there's no time taken off the clock. So I was okay with them at least giving us the time back. But where's the where is the smart after timeout play? Like, why can't we do any better than that? Like, just DeMar chucking it up with double coverage from the 3-point line. Like, don't you think that we could do a little bit better than that? I don't know. I don't have a lot to say just because I'm at kind of a lack of words for how frustrating it is to see them blow another big lead like this. 23 points, a 23-point lead, another big lead that the Bulls managed to blow in the fourth quarter and managed to lose the game. It all turned for the worse once Caruso got into foul trouble. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Let's talk Bulls. And it seems like that's kind of a theme for this team is like when something bad starts happening, when something starts to break down, you know, when there's a bad call, when there's a guy in foul trouble, you know, when you have to take Coby White out of the lineup or whatever it is, when you have to take Vooch out of the lineup or when you have to take when there's a slight variation in anything, just a slight disruption, it does seem like the wheels really start to fall off for this team. And that speaks to their lack of like leadership, honestly. The fact that their leadership is coming from players like Caruso and not from the head coach means, you know, when you lose that player when he's not on the court, you lose that sense of calmness, that sense of tranquility that Caruso brings, or you know that a DeMar DeRozan brings because of their veteran leadership. So, I mean, I don't want to call Billy Donovan a bad leader, but it does beg the question, when the team is looking uncomfortable, when things are breaking down, where is that calming voice, that calming presence that people can listen to, that players listen to, that resonates with them? So I don't know. It's tough for me because I can see both sides of it, that it's not totally Billy Donovan's fault when you say, like, these are still adults, these are still professionals, they should be able to take this game seriously, and they don't need a guy in their ear telling them, here's how to do it to win. But at the same time, that is the job of the head coach. The job of the head coach is to keep the guys all on the same page, to get everyone aligned, and to make sure that nobody's getting too far above, too far below, too high, too low. You got to keep everyone level. It keeps happening. Always at the end of the day, this roster is not constructed well, and I don't think Billy's the guy to lead it. Yeah, Alba, I hear you, and I think you are kind of echoing the sentiment of a lot of Bulls fans right now. I think a lot of people feel the same way you feel. The roster isn't constructed well. It's not a team that is built to make a deep run in the playoffs by any means. So you're going up against one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Obviously, it's going to be a tough battle. I don't think anyone expected the Bulls to walk in there and blow the Suns out, but with a lead like that, you can let the Suns make a run there at the end. Obviously, they're going to fight back, but you still got to get the win there. Eubanks got inside Drummond's head. Yeah, I mean, they got chippy there in the third. I'll just say, when you're going up against a team like the Suns, you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for that. You know that they have Grayson Allen. You know the kind of player he is. You know the fact that Grayson Allen's on that team means there's going to be some other guys on that team that are going to get chippy as well. You can't let it get inside your head. You can't let it get to you. You can't let it eat at you. That it threw Drummond off his game. You know that they're going to have some guys like that are going to be able to make an impact, make an impression on the game. And you have to be ready. As they say, roll with the punches. You got to be able to roll with those punches. You got to be able to punch back. And that was something the Bulls, honestly, I will give the team credit for something. They have been able to roll with punches in recent games. There have been some opportunities in recent games where I thought, okay, here it comes. They're going to blow this lead. The Suns are on like a 6-game winning streak right now. They're having a nice stretch to their season at this point. So we kind of got bulldozed by a team that's, in the midst of a hot run right now. But that's what I think it comes back to, is a team that's still kind of finding their identity. And, it's late January. You should have found your identity by now. So that's not a good thing. I'm not using that as an excuse. The Bulls are still looking for their identity because they're not that good of a team. So yeah, it's going to be tough to make a deep run in the playoffs if you can't even make the playoffs to begin with. Still think we need to blow this thing up and let Coby, Pat, and Ayo do their thing. I agree. I have a video that I'm dropping tomorrow. Hey, preview. Responding to some comments here on YouTube about Coby White. And part of that video is just going to be me explaining kind of my rebuild strategy and what I think the Bulls could do to maximize their rebuild right now around a player like Coby White. But yeah, LaVine's trade value once again is in the toilet. Though, I think the whole like LaVine trade value in the toilet, I think that's a little bit overblown. I think that's kind of a media spectacle. I don't think that's as accurate as it sounds. I'm sure that his value is not as high as it used to be, but if LA wants him, if LA wants to make that trade at the deadline, they'll make that trade at the deadline. It's not like, LaVine is some unmovable albatross contract that nobody wants. I mean, you're still getting bites out there for players that are far worse than him. So I'm sure if DeJounte Murray can get a trade market, Zach LaVine can get a trade market. But yeah, all right. So Elba, nothing is happening at the deadline. That's what I was gonna say. With the caveat, I think that Zach has a trade market. He has trade value. With the caveat of, I don't think Arturas Karnisovas is actually going to do anything at the trade deadline. That's less of an indictment on Zach's value and more of a conversation around the fact that the Bulls they're just kind of wusses. They're being lame, man. They're being wusses about it. They won't take that step. They won't put the chips in and say, this is what we're doing. They have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're saying, no, we're not rebuilding. We're still contending for the playoffs, but also we're not that good and we're still going to play our young players. Like, pick a fucking side, man. It's one or the other. You don't get to say we're a rebuilding team. Or I'm sorry, you don't get to say we're a contending team when you're the 9th or 10th seed. You can't keep saying that. You can't keep telling people, "Oh, well, we're contending. We're just waiting for the health to come around." It's been 2-3 years now. You're not going to contend for the finals. It's just the facts of the matter. The Bulls are not a finals contending team. So you can't tell me that they're a contending team. But on the flip side of that, you can't tell me they're a rebuilding team because they haven't done anything to rebuild. They haven't traded for any picks. They haven't traded any of their contracts. So it's not one or the other. They have not picked a strategy. They are 1 foot in and 1 foot out still. So that's where I take exception with that whole idea of like, well, maybe they can keep Zach and try to make it work. It's not going to work. We've tried. It's not happening. Do you think they extend DeRozan? I think that all depends on what happens at the trade deadline. If they do actually trade Zach, I think that, see, I feel like people have it backwards. A lot of people think that if the Bulls trade Zach, that means that they're going to trade DeMar. I think there's a higher chance of the Bulls trading Zach and then extending DeMar, because the idea there would be you're going to trade for all these young players and picks. You want to keep DeMar around, and you want to keep him around for the rebuild as that veteran mentor leader. So I think there's a chance that they could keep DeMar if they trade Zach, especially the financials probably wouldn't work out if they wanted to extend DeMar and keep Zach. But yeah, Alba's in the chat spitting some facts. The realistic thing I see DeMar is gets traded for a young player and a first rounder. Yeah, and that's kind of the same that I see for Zach too. So I'm not sure. I doubt that DeMar gets traded. It seems more likely that the Bulls extend him than anything. But this offseason will probably be where it happens. I don't think Zach gets traded at the deadline. If Zach does get traded, I think it's going to happen in the offseason. And so we probably won't find out what the future is until then. And that means more continuity. That means at the deadline, at the trade deadline this season, we get to experience another round of continuity. We're not done yet. One more heaping, guys. One more big spoonful of continuity on your plate. It's not over yet. AK needs to get as many assets as possible. Going through another deadline doing nothing is the worst decision anyone could ever make. Keegan, I hear you, man. I hear you. I feel you. I don't believe it's going to change. I don't believe we're at a place right now that I see Arturas and Mark making a big change. The value for Zach is low. It's at its lowest it's probably been since they took over. And you know, the fact that the team plays well enough is enough for them to justify keeping with this squad, because that's what they do. They keep with the squad. They stick with continuity. We know that that's what they do. So I struggle. I struggle so hard to see them actually doing it, but they should. They should make trades. I struggle seeing them doing it, but they should make trades. Only thing keeping me sane about this team is that we actually have some good young players. Yes, I agree completely. It would be very hard to watch this season without like Coby White and Patrick Williams. Like if it was just like Vooch and DeMar out there, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. Truthfully. If Zach was hurt and all we had to watch was like DeMar and Vooch just, I don't know, tossing up mid-range jumpers, I don't know if I could handle that. But I could definitely handle some Coby White and Patrick Williams. I love me some Coby White and Patrick Williams. Even Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips a little bit too. They've gotten involved this season. So that goes back to the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing I said, though, where it's like we get to see a little bit, we get a little taste, but we don't get everything. We don't get to see a lot of them. We don't get to see them actually, you know, get the keys to the car so to speak. We don't get to see the Bulls actually, center the team around those young players. Rather, they're the role players right now. So I don't know. Let's talk Bulls. I want them to make a move, but I don't want them to trade people to trade people. I agree. I don't want them just to make a trade because we haven't made a trade in a long time. I'm just thinking, we're at a point now where we've proven, I think the proof is in the pudding that this roster construction has not worked. They have to do something. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the expert and tell you guys like this is exactly the trade they need to make that will fix everything. I don't know if a trade like that exists. I don't think a trade like that even exists. But what they really need to do is get some draft picks back, get some young players back, and form a strategy. Form a strategy for the future to press ahead with, because right now they don't really have that long-term vision. They're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. They perform well some nights, they don't perform well. We see what they did tonight. We see the inconsistencies, the ups, the downs. This is just run its course. I think this team has run its course, and I think it's probably time for them to evaluate some new opportunities, some new alternatives, and that includes making some trades. So I think they have an opportunity, though, to make a trade with Zach LaVine, to make a trade with Alex Caruso, to potentially make a trade with DeMar DeRozan, to bring back some legitimate assets. So it's not like all is lost. Hope isn't gone. They have opportunities here to bring back some pretty significant returns. Just, it remains to be seen what the actual plan is and if they're actually going to do that. Should we watch some highlights real quick before I get out of here? Just real quick before I get out of here. Let's see. Okay. This is fun. So they're going to take this shot. They're going to take the shot off. Over Allen. Grayson Allen, man. I hate him so much. So we're gonna say that Grayson Allen is the clean one in this scenario. Such bullshit, man. So no foul there. And that's okay. I don't want to see it. Ah! So here we go. We don't get the ball to Coby here. But let's go back because let's watch that one more time. I want to watch that shot one more time. DeRozan hits it. But why not? Why not try to set something up for Coby in the corner here? Maybe try to go where Pat is. Try to run a screen up here to screen off Grayson Allen. Or, even just passing it to him right here. Let him shoot that deep three. The gravity of DeRozan draws Grayson Allen in naturally. I don't know, man. It's painful. It hurts. Yeah. Will Perdue on the postgame show said that shot reminded him of Craig Elo, which is just fucked. Fuck, man. God damn it, that hurts. Let's watch this last shot. Well, wait, let's see. Which one is this? This is the one. This is not the one going to the basket. Okay. That was honestly closer than it should have been. So we don't get the Pat shot here. They're not giving us the Pat shot. Honestly, he might have been fouled on that. He might have gotten fouled on that. Let's watch this in slow-mo. Let's watch this in slow-mo. let's see what we could find. Let's see if we can identify the foul here. Let's see. Not a great angle. I don't know. I think that was a foul. That kind of looks like a foul to me, guys. I'm not biased at all. I have no horse in this race. Well, at any rate, the Bulls did end up losing. Didn't set anything up for Coby White at the end there, even though I personally thought, and I think a lot of you guys thought, that Coby was hot. He should have gotten a chance there at the end. Maybe could have set up a 3 to win the game even, but it wasn't meant to be. The Bulls lose 115 to 113 against the Phoenix Suns. I have no horse in this race, only the stable. Alba, thank you for joining me. Thank you to the rest of the crew. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out in the chat tonight. Let's Talk Bulls, Keegan, DK. There's a few other folks who jumped in. Blah, blah. Eno, Joni. There was a few of you guys. Rodrigo, thank you guys for chatting. Thank you guys for joining me for the post game. This was a late game. This was a West Coast game, so I am exhausted. I need to get to bed. Sucks that we couldn't get the win tonight, man. I'm disappointed that we lost. We got close. It was close. It was really, really close. So we got the rest of this West Coast road trip coming up. Hopefully we could get some wins here. Keep this thing rolling. But thank you guys again for joining me. I appreciate it. Get some sleep. Get some rest tonight. I know it's already past midnight for my folks in the East Coast. So get some rest. Don't let the Bulls keep you up. Don't stay up thinking about this team. Don't let them do it to you, man. Don't let them do it to you. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Have a good night.